It's the 3rd of November, 2015. Where has the year gone? It was just like yesterday that we were ushering in 2015 and things that we aspire to do. Eyes wide and conscious of all the expectations that we wanted for our direction, waiting to be manifested from within. So I burn a candle for each and every one of you. Why? I'm not obligated to from a moral stance, but spiritually, I have been convicted. Because see, that's that covenant that I have with God, and it's found inside of me. That's what makes me me. So I've got no choice but to submit and speak my truth, always ground my feet, embrace my discernment, and not embrace fear. Because see, I know that the devil is a liar, and he wants nothing more for me to look over my shoulder and embrace who I once was. Granted, I've always looked at the world through the eyes of a child, because see, I know inside me that little boy, that precious little boy, still exists, even though the decades have come and gone and I've evolved into a man, but now I am, and I claim, a spiritual one. It is priceless. I will never let it go. So what makes you think I wouldn't do the same for you? How is everybody doing? I hope that your week, since you're beginning it, I hope it finds you well. I hope that whatever you may be faced with in your reality, it uplifts you and it does not suppress your steps. Because see, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to have peace of mind. You deserve to not allow your fears and insecurities to block where you headed. You see, the person that you are destined to become, oh, that precious soul, that person that is abundant, that person that is filled with love, that person that has creativity just coming from within, that person is blessed. But more importantly, they are humble, because see, they understand the undertaking that made them them. Surely we fall down. Surely we stumble. Sometimes we break the skin and our precious blood is spilled. But because God loves you so much, your heart continues to beat. So right there, that's a validation for someone that you still got work to do. Don't get caught up in what is being presented now. Why do you think they call it theater? Because it's for their entertainment? No. It's for your validation. See, what I'm talking about, y'all, is your life, y'all. That's right. It's one of those videos. I'm going to keep saying it until the intended ear and heart feels where I'm coming from. And if you feel where I'm coming from, let me know. Hit me with a like. And if you don't, drop a comment either way so I can get on the same page as you. But what I won't do is compromise myself to have you here. Because see, I know that my walk is like your walk, but the viewpoints are different. But the end goal should be the same. That when the last breath is taken, you can look back and say, I did well. I didn't squander my life. I sidestepped the pitfalls, and I claimed my name. I know that needs to go out to someone. See, I know there's somebody right now. You're teetering which way to go. I say to you, before you take that first step or that next step, go within. Go within. Stop listening to those opportunists and wait that you say that they are your friends. If you decide to just listen to what is being propelled from the inside out, you will come to see the correlation of their actions don't match what comes out their mouth. You gotta understand that even the best sandwich gotta have it. It's gotta be buttered. So I'm trying to reach this out to you because I have a feeling somebody, you're constantly hearing this theme and you're constantly turning a blind eye. You're convincing yourself that your pain is what is your foundation. That's the motivation that is going to be needed to live your life. But would you not take a step back and see this? If it hurts so much, where's the love? If it hurts so much, why are you constantly seeing the same blocks? If it hurts so much, why does it always manifest, but the faces change? It hurts so much because you won't acknowledge it exists. So this message goes out to that little boy, that little girl. Just know you're loved, but you got to do something different. Stop going outside your door trying to look for validation from strangers that will never walk with you, but they'll kindly distract you from what you need, not what you want. Oh, yes. They've got an encyclopedia of verbiage to convince you to stand still. But what does your heart say? You wasn't born or created to be last. That's a choice. So are you going to roll your sleeves up this time? Are you going to convince yourself once again that your work is not worthy of what's found within? Because see, everything that you need was given the moment that you took your first breath, y'all. You think you're supposed to be that person sitting on the sidelines and watching everybody else's life take its rightful place. No, you're not. It takes 100% effort to be you. So if you're taking away from that, how can you expect the end goal to be the result that you long for? It's going to always fall short because you're not being attentive. You're not following through when it comes to you. See, only you have your name. Only you have your DNA, and only you have your spirit. You think your happiness is based off your sexuality? Let me tell you something. You know what the end goal for those that think that their sexuality is the key to everlasting happiness? They get burnt out. They get used up. They become spiritually depleted. And lastly, they lose their mind. Because see, what happens is when they wake up and see what is going on, it hurts you to the core. It hurts you so deeply that you even question if you want to take that next breath. I know I'm talking to someone. For those that are dealing with betrayal, this message goes to you. It wasn't the fact that you were betrayed by them. No. The first betrayal that was done was the first lie that you told to yourself. Was the first lie that you decided not to see your worth. Was the first lie that you convinced yourself that you were not worthy of that blessing. But nobody can live your life but you. So, what's holding your feet from claiming your life? Don't you understand that the person that you're destined to be is relying on the decisions you make today? That's why you can't get the person that you once were back. Those are all memories, but they're nothing but spiritual reference points. I know I'm talking to somebody. So you're going to allow what society illustrates as manhood. You're going to allow them to define what a woman should be. Because if you, my queens, because I'm going to jump on that, if you constantly rely on what is being illustrated in the media of what womanhood is, you will come to see that your life is going to play out like a typical Walt Disney film. The lady who did not know herself ended up being the what? The tramp. But even if that is the case, when the awareness comes, oh, you will be moved. You will be forced to make a choice. Because, see, we're given free will. Yes, we are. But we must acknowledge what is being demonstrated. What's got you so shook that you're afraid to grow? What's got you so shook that you put a ransom on your heart? You put a ransom on your body. Who convinced you that this is all it's going to be? Or is it because you're afraid to fly? Stop looking down what's below you and soar. Don't you realize home is where the heart is? Don't you realize that? But see, I also understand that too, because see, some of y'all dealing with this because it comes from the home. Some of y'all dealing with the fact of the proverbial, the apple falls not far from the tree. And it's got your mind perplexed because you see what does not work because you were reared in it. Maybe you are the one that's supposed to break that generational curse. I know I'm talking to someone because the fact that you don't fit in their circle, you're not in that box mentality, and you see things crystal clear. You're not crazy. You're not. But if you keep listening to them, you will be. Because, see, they've made a conscious decision too. Instead of trying to break from their misery by taking accountability of what is visible, they act like it doesn't. So how dare you not acknowledge that pitfall? So let me ask you this. If today was your last day on earth, would you be proud that your life was the way it is? This is real talk. Because if you don't, then ask yourself why you're not doing something to try to change it. I know some people are waiting for their breakthroughs, and you're frustrated. You've got an inner anger inside you. I know I'm talking to somebody. Anything remotely that has to do with you inside, you don't let nobody near you because you're afraid. And the truth is because you're tired of being hurt. But what you'll come to realize is you hurt yourself every day by not acknowledging what's wrong. you actually set yourself up to repeat the cycle over and over and over. God forbid if you have children, because guess what? They are living, breathing recorders. You are making up their mental psychology. That is why it's very important that both parents play a role. If you are making a conscious choice to try to do it on your own, there's a price that comes with that. Because guess what? That means half their psychology is still not developed. So guess what? That half that's not developed is going to be what's going to make them vulnerable. And unfortunately, you will have to look at that play out. So it's very important, my kings and queens, conquer your pride. Conquer your ego. Because those are the things that are holding you back from you. I know somebody right now, and I say this figuratively because I've been there. You're waiting for your happy ever after. You want to feel emotionally safe. You want to finally, proverbially exhale. You can't find that until you look inside of you. Now's the time that you take accountability for your choices. Now's the time that you acknowledge what does not work. If you're using social action as an emotional band-aid, it won't stick. It'll only make it more infected. What I'm saying is, when's the last time you told yourself you love you? If you even feel funny by even saying that, guess what? Everything around you is playing out because it's not being honored. It starts with you inside. For those people that may have had a hard road, let me tell you something. You need to stop beating yourself up. Stop it. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Take accountability for your part and heal. Take the stopwatch out of your life. Come on now. You don't see your self-worth? But my queens, until you decide that you got to make a decision. That's what I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but I get tired of seeing the same scenario play out. I ain't gonna look. You pick any social outlet. You hear the same thing. You can always see about at least 20 people saying, "I wish somebody loved me." Why won't you love yourself? Is it so painful to love yourself? Because guess what? You are what you attract. Yes, take ownership in that because it's true. So if you choosing to be deceptive, guess what? You attracted deceptive people. If you coming from an abusive situation, 9 times out of 10, you have something going on with you. So you got to first acknowledge it exists. Take steps to find the solution. But give yourself time to embrace it. Because let me tell you what. Ice Cube said it best. There'll be a new next year. And guess what? The agenda is about this. They don't care. It's not their responsibility to care about you. But it is your social responsibility what you look at and what you take in. Because I'm going to tell you what, y'all. The devil is real. Demons are real. And yes, angels do exist. Come on now. Stop listening to the people and the cheap seats that only want to use you up. Come on now. If you can't do it with honor during the day, why are you doing it behind closed doors at night? I know that needs to go out to somebody. Because I'm going to tell you what, I'm getting tired of looking at my queens out here. You know what? And here's the thing. You think you're slick kings and queens. Instead of dealing with your emotional baggage, you'll run out and go get a tattoo. So guess what? That's like a ink version of a tombstone of that burden. That's all that is a burden. But here's the kicker about it. So that everyone can see it, you put it out of, that's shame. Why you do that? Come on now. So my queens, before you can stop saying there's no good men, you attract what you are. So maybe this is a time that you stop playing with your life and get it right. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work like it was that math problem that makes you go like this. Because when it comes to you, you're worth it. You're not just something to do. That's why one night stands don't work. That's why cheating sets you back. Your life is an experience. Why won't you see the value in that? You can't buy another you. But see, society, you keep listening to them. Society is banking on the people that don't see who they are. I ain't got to tell you. Queens, what are you going to do when the next, because the fix has been in for the last 25 years, actually the last decade. Actually, last 40 years, the fix has been in. But let me ask you this. Since because I know somebody's saying right now, he ain't talking about me. He ain't talking about me. Yeah, I am. I'm talking about you, the one that's shook. You're the one that is got because you think that, you know, here's what's funny. There are some of you that say, well, because I don't want to see my worth, I will think like a man. Let me tell you something, Queens. You will never be a man. Never. You are built the way you're built. That's why you were given the gift of nurturement. But guess what? If you're tired of attracting supposed men that all they do is hurt you, guess what you're seeing? You're just seeing little boys in men's bodies. They're just using ploys to get you because you don't see your worth. But let's go back to what I wanted to say, because I'm not bashing. I'm bringing, since you know everything, you should know this. You know that when you were created perfect, right? You do know that, right? So who convinced you that your body was not the, what are you going to do when, because I said this about a year and a half ago, you have one spirit. You have one DNA. You do. And after a while, your body will get tired of your foolishness. And it will take its rightful place back. Hold on. Doing a video right now. I'm going to call you right back. You do understand that, right? That's why there is no such thing as doctors being able to alter your DNA. Oh yeah, they can split chromosomes. They can try. But your DNA code is you. That is the makeup of you. But it's not you, because what is you is your spirit. That's why you're feeling what I'm telling you. I'm saying this because I love y'all. But look what's going on, y'all. You know what's going, I mean, you're putting this stuff into your body for a cheap result. But little do you know, sooner or later, you're going to have to take all that out. And for what? For your self-esteem? To attract him? Because let me tell you what's going to happen. He going to play with you, but he ain't going to marry you. He going to marry the opposite. That's right, Queen. If you ain't realized this by now, All y'all going out here, y'all. The beauty business is a $1 billion industry. I ain't gonna tell you. Look at all the money that you spent. But imagine how much money that you would have if you invested in you correctly. I know somebody saying, "Well, Gerald, I got all this weight and stuff, and I don't have the time." Yeah, you do. You had the time to put it on. Why won't you have the time to take it off? Come on now. It's time for you to get back to you. Stop listening to your girlfriends. Your girlfriends are just as broken as you. That's why y'all have a kinship. But what you don't realize is this. The moment that you don't do what you're supposed to do for her, she ready to stab you in your back. I know that need to go out to you. That goes to you, my kings. Your stick man ain't your boy. But he'll convince you, though. He'll convince you. But deep down inside, he don't have the courage because he wants your life. Yeah, that's why the first opportunity he gets, he's gonna sleep with every woman you've been with. But that's your friend? That's your friend, right? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You better see your worth. You better see your worth. My queens, look at the dynamic of what's going on now. They've already realized what does not work because they also know that society, that this generation, especially those my folks that are under 35 years old, they look, the economy knows that you're gonna use this 9 times out of 10, but you're not gonna use it for 100% of what it's required to do. They know that because they know that your attention span is short. They know that because why you think food is made the way that is what is made? Hmm? Come on now. Why you think it's the way it is? Because they've already written you off. They don't see your worth because they count everybody as being expendable. All they care about is that PIN number. That's right. That's right. They want you to be deaf, dumb, and blind. They want you just to be the consumer. So my queens, love each and every one of you. It's time for you to stop running from yourself. This goes with you, my kings. And let me tell you what. For those, I got this feeling somebody's got a dark cloud over their life right now. And this is for that person that's been dealing with this about, I say about 10 years. And you've been trying to manage. You've even convinced yourself to put on this air when you're around people that like, if I scare them, because you're assertive now. You got your volume on 20. Let me tell you something. There are those that are connected to your life. These are the people that genuinely love you. They love you. They do. But they're not going to pull up with your foolishness. They're not. And they're not going to watch you die slow either. They're not. So until you decide to see your worth, stop putting a price tag, because you behind closed doors, you're doing no different than them. And so that ain't me, Gerald. I ain't no hooker. Well, if you didn't work for it, what do you call it? Barter? Goods and services? No. It's a disservice to your name and everything that you stand for. So when you get tired of hurting, have the courage to look that little girl or that little boy in the mirror and claim your life back. Because you can't buy it. You do understand that, y'all. People be spending hundreds of $1,000s on crap. Come on now. Like the Louboutins. Queens, why'd y'all spend your hard-earned money on that? Because of a name. If you're gonna drop $1,500 on a designer footwear, why didn't you just get it made yourself? At least it would be yours. It would have your name on it. But guess what? Those $1,500 shoes only cost $30 to make. Supply and demand. Come on, man. Come on. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. Come on now. Take the price tag off your body. Take it off. Because you're not for sale. Be blessed.